For centuries, the Vatican has upheld a tradition of secrecy surrounding its internal operations. Initially, this silence was perceived as a means to preserve the Church's sanctity and authority. However, recent revelations brought forth by Elon Musk have exposed this silence as a cover for darker hidden truths the world was never intended to uncover. From covert financial transactions to peculiar ritual practices, we delve into 15 shocking secrets the Vatican has worked hard to keep concealed. The Gospel of Satan. Hidden within the Vatican's heavily guarded archives lies a manuscript known as the Grand Grimoire, or the Gospel of Satan. Few have dared to open this ancient text, written in the 16th century by Aeneas of Thebes, who was rumored to have been possessed by Satan while penning the book. According to legends, Aeneas's eyes turned coal-black as he wrote, and his soul was overtaken by sinister forces. The Gospel of Satan contains terrifying spells for summoning demons, making pacts with Lucifer, communicating with spirits, becoming invisible, and even winning lotteries. One of the most chilling rituals detailed in its pages is the Triangle of Pax. To perform this ritual, a summoner must create a triangle using specific items like candles and a rare stone called emat. The triangle is intended to shield the summoner from the summoned demons, but even a minor mistake can cause the demon to break free and drag the summoner's soul to hell. Despite the risks, many have reportedly attempted this ritual over the centuries. And if you think this is unsettling, the next secret is even more shocking. The Judgment of the Dead. In January 897, during a period of significant political turmoil within the Church, one of the most bizarre and horrifying events in its history occurred: the Cadaver Synod. This ecclesiastical trial took place at the Basilica of St. John Lateran and was orchestrated by Pope Stephen VI against his predecessor, Pope Formosus. While Formosus was alive, his corrupt leadership was largely ignored. However, after his death, Pope Stephen VI chose to revisit his wrongdoings. In a shocking move, Formosus's corpse was exhumed, dressed in papal robes, and placed on a throne in the courtroom. A deacon was appointed to speak on behalf of the deceased pope during the trial. Unsurprisingly, Formosus could not defend himself, yet Pope Stephen VI proceeded to find him guilty. As punishment, Formosus's body was stripped of its papal garments, 3 fingers used for blessings were severed, and his corpse was thrown into the Tiber River to ensure his memory was erased from history. The Rwandan Genocide. It is difficult to fathom, but the Catholic Church played a significant role in the tragic events of the Rwandan Genocide, one of the deadliest massacres in history. At that time, the Church wielded considerable influence in Rwanda, with nearly 90% of the population identifying as Catholic. Trusting the Church for protection, many sought refuge within its walls. Tragically, instead of providing sanctuary, priests and nuns either handed victims over to the killers, remained passive, incited violence, or outright encouraged their followers to kill the Tutsis. One of the most harrowing incidents involved 5,000 people who were brutally slaughtered after being betrayed by the clergy. The aftermath of this atrocity led to widespread condemnation of the Church. Although the Vatican eventually issued apologies and attempted to suppress information about its involvement, the damage had already been done. The Prophecy of Fatima. The renowned Prophecy of Fatima dates back to 1917, when 3 young shepherd children, Lucia Santos, Jacinta Marto, and Francisco Marto, claimed to have received messages from the Virgin Mary. These messages contained 3 secrets, 2 of which were revealed soon after. The first secret described a terrifying vision of hell, where souls endured torment in flames. The second secret predicted the outbreak of both World War I and World War II, accompanied by a plea from the Virgin Mary for the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart. She warned that failure to fulfill this request would result in Russia spreading its errors across the world, leading to war and persecution of the Church. The third secret remained undisclosed until 2000, despite Sister Lucia's instructions for it to be revealed in 1960. When it was finally made public, the Vatican described a vision of a bishop in white being shot and falling to the ground, widely interpreted as a reference to the 1981 assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. However, many believe that the full prophecy was not disclosed, suspecting that the Vatican withheld further alarming predictions about the Church's future. Pope Joan. The story of Pope Joan is one of the most controversial legends associated with the Vatican. According to the tale, a brilliant woman from Germany, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, disguised herself as a man to pursue religious studies. Under the name John Anglicus, she excelled in theology and philosophy, eventually gaining prominence in Rome. Following the death of Pope Leo IV, she was elected as pope, taking the name John VIII. Her reign lasted for about 2.5 years, during which she was known for her wisdom and fairness. However, her secret was exposed during a procession when she unexpectedly went into labor in front of a crowd. Accounts differ on what happened next. Some claim she was killed by an enraged mob, while others suggest she died in childbirth. In the aftermath, the Vatican erased her existence from official records, and future popes avoided the street where her identity was revealed. Additionally, a ritual was introduced to ensure that all future popes were male. Even in the 1500s, a bust of Joan was displayed at Siena Cathedral, but was quietly removed in the 1600s following protests. To this day, the Vatican denies any knowledge of Pope Joan's existence. The Inquisition. The Inquisition was a dark period marked by relentless persecution and brutality. The Catholic Church launched an aggressive campaign to root out anyone they deemed heretical or opposed to their faith. Accusations were often based on rumors or personal vendettas, and the accused were denied fair trials or the chance to defend themselves. Victims were subjected to psychological and physical torture to extract confessions. One method involved suspending prisoners by their arms, which were tied behind their backs before dropping them suddenly to dislocate their shoulders. Another infamous torture device was the rack, used to stretch victims' bodies until their muscles tore and bones cracked. Survivors were often left permanently disabled. The water cure was another form of torture where victims were tied down, a cloth forced into their mouths, and water poured over them to simulate drowning. Many falsely confessed to heresy under such torment. The Church, however, consistently downplayed the severity of these practices. Even today, detailed records of these horrors remain buried in the Vatican's secret archives. The Nazi collaboration. Newly unearthed Vatican documents have unveiled a shocking connection between Pope Pius XII and Adolf Hitler during World War II. Shortly after Pius XII assumed the papacy, Hitler dispatched Prince Philip von Hessen as a special envoy to negotiate a secret alliance with the Vatican. Even more startling is the revelation that after the war, certain Vatican members aided high-ranking Nazi officials in escaping justice. Utilizing covert routes known as rat lines, Bishop Alois Hudol facilitated the escape of notorious Nazis by providing fake identity papers and arranging secret travel plans. Among those who benefited from these efforts were Adolf Eichmann, a key architect of the Holocaust, and Josef Mengele, the infamous doctor of Auschwitz. These individuals managed to evade capture, thanks in part to the Vatican's clandestine assistance. Although this may sound dreadful, it pales in comparison to the Vatican's next alleged cover-up, the death of Pope John Paul I. Born Albino Luciani, Pope John Paul I ascended to the papacy on August 26, 1978, following the death of Pope Paul VI. He was admired for his kindness and humility, raising hopes that he would bring significant reforms to the Church, particularly concerning its finances and moral issues. Tragically, just 33 days after assuming his role, he was found dead. The Vatican attributed his death to a heart attack. Initially, his passing seemed natural, but doubts arose when conflicting reports emerged about how his body was discovered. The Vatican first claimed that a male secretary found him, but later stated that nuns were the first to see him. Adding to the suspicion, the Vatican opted not to perform an autopsy, a rare decision for such an unexpected death. Further fueling concerns were reports that Pope John Paul I intended to address serious financial irregularities within the Church, implicating powerful figures. This led to speculation that he was silenced to prevent him from exposing these issues. The Vatican Bank's connection to the Holocaust has also drawn scrutiny. Investigators aware of the Church's involvement in aiding former Nazi leaders decided to delve deeper into its financial dealings. Historian Gerald Posner revealed that the Nazis paid substantial sums to the Vatican Bank through a special church tax known as Kirchensteuer. Within a single year, this tax amounted to approximately $1.7 billion, all of which was deposited in the Vatican Bank, considered one of the safest places to conceal large sums without arousing suspicion. Disturbingly, beyond safeguarding these funds, the Vatican invested in Italian insurance companies that held life insurance policies for Jewish families. This allowed them to profit from these policies without ever issuing payouts. In 2012, the Vatican faced another major scandal, dubbed Vatican leaks. Italian journalist Gianluigi Nuzzi obtained confidential documents, including letters from Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, which exposed significant financial misconduct and dubious contracts within the Vatican. The scandal deepened when Nuzzi released a book titled His Holiness, The Secret Papers of Benedict XVI, which contained private correspondence between Pope Benedict XVI and his top advisors. The book painted a picture of a Vatican rife with jealousy, betrayal, and fierce power struggles. It revealed that, even at the Church's highest levels, officials competed for control and influence. As tensions escalated, Pope Benedict XVI commissioned a group of cardinals to investigate the situation. Their findings were alarming. In response, the Vatican swiftly moved to cover up the evidence, fearing the exposure of more damaging secrets. As a result, little information about the scandal has reached the public, with only whispers circulating about its true extent. Over the years, allegations of child abuse have further tarnished the Vatican's image. Numerous reports have surfaced detailing the sexual abuse of minors by priests and other church officials. Thousands of children are believed to have been victimized, with many cases either going unreported or mishandled. For decades, rather than reporting these crimes to civil authorities, the Church chose to address them internally. This internal handling often involved transferring the offending priest to a different parish without notifying the new congregation of their past misconduct, thereby enabling the cycle of abuse to continue. One of the Vatican's most enigmatic and controversial practices is the ritual of exorcism. Rooted in Catholic tradition, exorcism involves a formal ceremony called the rite of exorcism. During this ritual, exorcists recite specific prayers, read passages from the Bible, and use holy water to command demons to leave the afflicted individual, invoking the name of Jesus Christ. However, the Church rarely discusses the psychological toll of this practice. Many individuals undergoing exorcism report heightened anxiety, distress, or new psychological traumas afterward, leading some to question why the Church continues to perform these rituals, given that the negative outcomes often seem to outweigh the benefits. Another secretive aspect of the Vatican is its court system, specifically the Apostolic Penitentiary. Established in 1179, this tribunal remained largely unknown to the public until 2009. The court handles the Church's gravest spiritual offenses, including apostasy, heresy, schism, and severe sexual sins. Rather than imposing traditional punishments, the tribunal grants forgiveness for these sins, but only the Pope can authorize this absolution. The entire process is shrouded in secrecy, with cases kept confidential and decisions final, without any possibility of appeal. This extreme level of confidentiality has led to speculation that the court might be involved in covering up other serious crimes, just as the Vatican has done with its archives. The Vatican Secret Archives contain an extensive collection of historical documents dating back to the 8th century. These archives house letters, papal decrees, official reports, and other significant records detailing the Catholic Church's history and its influence on global events. With approximately 85 million documents, the archives cover various topics including diplomacy, church administration, and the lives of different popes. While the archives provide invaluable insights into the Church's historical role, access remains highly restricted. Researchers must navigate a rigorous application process to gain entry, and even then, many documents remain off-limits or are only released after a 75-year waiting period to protect sensitive information. Speculations about a connection between the Vatican and the Illuminati have also emerged, fueled by historical events, secrecy, and the Church's global influence. The Illuminati, originally founded to promote reason and moral equality devoid of religious influence, was suppressed by the Bavarian government in the late 1780s. However, its operations allegedly continued in secret. Theories suggest that the Vatican adopted certain Illuminati symbols and rituals to maintain its power and influence over society. Critics point to the Church's secret archives, hidden chambers, and ancient manuscripts as evidence of this possible alignment with Illuminati goals. Given these revelations, do you still view the Vatican as a purely religious institution, or could it be a secretive organization cloaked in the guise of Christianity? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. Also, check out the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.